Hello everyone, welcome to another DailyJim. This is Tuesday, April 15th, 2025, tax day here in the US, and I haven't talked in a long time. I think it's been about a month. So today what I'm going to talk about is something that has me feeling more motivated, is this idea of fighting a culture war. Fighting a culture war about emotions, fighting a culture war about conflict. I'm not sure exactly, but fighting a culture war. And so one thing over the last year or so that has really motivated me is this idea of emotional combat. Waking up, training in emotional combat, getting skills at how to deal with emotional combat, recognizing that other human beings are going through emotional combat. We are all swimming amidst the chaos and trying to figure out how to live life. And yet, when I say to myself, okay, so that would be the training, what would I do during the day? Would I engage in emotional combat? I think framing it that way can make people can make me question, is it like the goal to punch people in the face? What's really the goal? And I've also said before to attack with love, to wake up and go out and spend my day attacking people with love. Also another way to look at it, but what it seems to be missing is the overall picture, the overall goal, the overall essence of winning. And I've talked before about cultural tug of war. Instead of culture war, it's a culture tug of war. And maybe that gets at it a little more. It's this idea that it's not just one-off attacks. There is an overall goal, an overall strategy, and that is to bring people and to bring culture specifically in a specific direction. And the direction with regards to conflict is away from avoidance, away from escalation, and towards actual resolution. In terms of fighting, it's away from avoiding the fight, it's away from escalating the fight, it's towards resolving the fight and having the skills and the beliefs and the expectations on how to resolve a fight. Same thing with emotions. It's about pulling culture away from closing off and recommending that people close off and find peace, and more towards opening up and finding love for themselves, love for other people. And so when I see it more as a culture war, it inspires me, it motivates me, because it says every day there's something I can do. And if I'm not doing something, perhaps there are other people their behaviors are pulling culture in a different direction. So if Donald Trump is speaking all the time, perhaps we are being pulled in a direction where culture says to be a man is to say that other people are taking advantage of you and punch them in the face 10 times harder. Or if I am not out there giving a counter narrative, there are maybe people that say, it is very wrong for you to cry, or if you get into a breakup with somebody, just let it go, just move on. You know, that person never cared about you anyways. And that may be one person, it may be 10 people, maybe 100 people saying similar messages to that. Now, what could I do if I stand up and I start shouting, no, just like Mr. Rogers said, I love you just the way you are? What if it were just one voice speaking to people and saying this? What if it was just one voice saying, listen, what you did really hurt me, but I still love you. And I'm always going to love you. I will never give up on you. What if it were just one voice saying that? What if it were one voice demonstrating how to get into really hard conversations with people that we love and still show them the love and disagree and still try to convince them and persuade them to go in a different direction? Or to show how to have the endurance to keep fighting and pulling not only people, but groups of people, therefore culture, and their behaviors in different direction. It just gives me the motivation. I feel motivated to have this because right now, if I'm speaking into this podcast, maybe some of you are listening to it. And if you're listening to this podcast, maybe that means you're not listening to another podcast, that there's the opportunity cost. Or maybe instead of listening to 5 podcasts that are telling you how men only want women for sex and women only want men for money and the Chinese are taking advantage of America and white people don't care about black people and all this stuff. Maybe you listen to 4 of them instead, and one of me saying, listen, most people are just trying their best. Remember emotional combat. Most of us are getting hit by so many attacks from so many different angles. We don't know which way is up sometimes. And it's very easy to forget that, and it's very hard to tell people that. A friend of mine was late, and we got into a little miscommunication the other day. And then she said, oh, by the way, I'm going through multiple lawsuits and this and that. I was like, huh? Multiple lawsuits? Whoa. Had no idea. So we often don't know what other people are going through. So if I am being quiet and staying away from people, then maybe you don't have the opportunity to hear this voice. You don't have the opportunity to hear these beliefs. You don't have the opportunity to feel a demonstration that's different, to imagine a different way to live, or even to start to emulate a different way to live. And so, I feel motivated to get this podcast back going, the DailyJim, but also much more motivated to get conversations going, because at the end of the day, I don't think it's about packaging exactly what I'm doing. I think it's about doing it and just getting up and every day and persisting and enduring and fighting, as John Lewis said, to fight the good fight. But in this way, it's almost like to fight so that we learn how to fight good, to fight good the good fight. To fight good the good fight. Something about fighting good. There's a book out that's called Fight Right, and then there's a workshop called Fight Wise. So this is a growing movement, I think, of people saying that we need to learn how to fight, we need to learn how to resolve, and we just need to see, I think, other examples. Last thing I'll say is that Mr. Rogers came up with his children's TV show. If you're familiar, it's Mr. Rogers' Neighborhood back in the day. Very famous. And one thing that he talked about was how he was disappointed with the slapstick comedy that would throw a pie in somebody's face and embarrass someone. And he said, it doesn't have to be that way. We can do a different way. We can show children a different way to live, a different way to process their emotions, a different way to express how they feel and deal with conflict. And I believe that motivated him very strongly, having that alternative, which was against what he believed. And I don't think, I love almost every human that I meet, and even the ones I don't, I still try very hard to love them. So this is not a knock on the individuals, but there are definitely behaviors and beliefs and styles of fighting that exist on social media, on podcasts, on the media, in politics, in leadership positions that I strongly disagree with and think are not healthy for them or for society. And I want to show you that it's possible to do life in a different way. So if you're curious about that, please pay attention to this. Give me suggestions for what to do on the podcast. Give me suggestions for how to make this impact. And please join along, because if this is a culture war to try to pull culture in that direction of being more open and loving and better at resolving fights, then I'm going to need help. We're all going to need help. So talk to you soon.